What is up, everybody? Rye here, and welcome back to some more Game Dev Tycoon goodness. Unfortunately, I do have some news for you guys. Now, you might have seen the prior video to this, which describes why I haven't uploaded any videos the past couple of days. There's a very reasonable explanation to it. Essentially, for the past week or so, I've had issues with my internet. I try to go on my Google Chrome. Pages take like 30 seconds to a minute to load, which is not normal whatsoever. It usually does it in the snap of a finger. And don't even get me started with YouTube. No videos would even think of starting for me unless I refresh the page about 50 times, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I knew something was wrong at that point. The fact that my internet was very slow, pages took forever to load, YouTube videos or any videos whatsoever that were on the internet would not load whatsoever unless I refreshed it a whole bunch of times, and that's if I was lucky. And even if it did load, it would only give me like 30 seconds at a time. Then I'd have to wait like 5 or 10 minutes and then watch the next like 30 seconds. It was insane. So, sorry, I'm adjusting here. So essentially what I did was called my internet provider, got the Xfinity guy to come over, and turns out it wasn't actually a problem with my modem or my router, which were my first two assumptions. It was actually a problem with some wiring and cables outside connecting to all the crap in here. This also explains why our phone, this is a detail that I didn't elaborate to you guys, this is why our phone was also cutting in and out during calls. So it was not just our problem. I think it might have been the whole neighborhood experiencing these issues. Either that or the cables and wiring that led to our place specifically were fucked up. You know, I'm not like a technician, I'm not an electrician, I'm not any of these things, so I don't really know. To put it simply, he came over, fixed whatever crap was messing us up outside, and voila, I can access the internet, I can access videos again, as smooth as usual. I can't say as smooth as ever, because really, my internet has never really been smooth. But at least it's been bearable, you know? Pages that don't take a minute to fucking load. I was completely agitated, and you know, it really put me behind in terms of being consistent in uploading and giving you guys daily footage. You know, I was hoping to have Game Dev Tycoon done by now, but unfortunately that plan never came to be. Now, there's another issue, and I better take a sip of soda here because this is going to be a bit of a doozy for you guys. Shasta Cola. I love it. Now, the issue that I want to elaborate to you guys is that, first off, this is actually not live commentary. This is, as you might have speculated, post-commentary, which is something I really never do. It's not my style. You know, I totally respect and like a lot of YouTubers out there who do post-commentary. It fits a particular style and people's preferences, and I can completely understand that. It's not really my thing, but unfortunately my hand was kind of forced when I found out in the most recent Game Dev Tycoon upload that the audio was actually cutting out multiple times throughout the entire video, which is a big problem. Apparently Fraps is something that really doesn't mesh well with Game Dev Tycoon. Fraps is really kind of a low-quality thing to record with to begin with. A lot of people have suggested to me DxTory, which I'm looking to get, but, you know, it is what it is. I can't get it, like, right away, so I have to deal with this. And I did a bit of researching and a bit of looking into my episodes 19 and 20, which are the next videos in the playlist. And they also had the same audio issues, where my voice would completely sound like it's being hacked with a saw. That's not the kind of quality that I'm proud of. It's certainly not something I want to give to you guys if I can help it. So post-commentary seemed like the most logical route to go in order to alleviate the issues as well as not have to consider this lost footage. What you're watching right now As you can see, I'm doing a little bit of development work on a dungeon game. Essentially, what I'm showing you guys is episodes 19 and 20 together in one compact package. So there's footage that's definitely cut out throughout the entire thing, but it's not stuff that you would necessarily care to watch anyway, or it's kind of repetitive. You guys already know the whole dealio. It's basically me getting tech and design points, or just going through the whole thought process on what the next game is going to be. It's really all that. So I'm just trying to show you guys the essentials, what you guys want to see, and hopefully you guys can... Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I mean, as you guys can see, the last game before this actually hit out of the park. Like, it made me so much money to where I could take a risk like this to make a game like Dangerous Depths. You know, I went from like 20, 30k to about 50k. Actually, right now it's about 42k, but I depleted quite a bit of funds to work on this game right here. It's really nice to have a full staff of 6 because now I can assign tasks accordingly to make sure I don't overwork my workers and still put out a quality product. Unfortunately, this can go both ways because some of my workers, and you might know who I'm referring to, Richard, they don't really attribute much to any category. Some of them have very low stats, and I tend to put more research points into things that can make a better engine or a better game, as opposed to actual training of my staff, which, when I think about it, probably is a big flaw in my whole master plan of making the Muffin Legion the best gaming company ever. You know, now that I'm talking about this right now, I can kind of see the pros and the cons to my approach. What can you do? So as you can see, Dangerous Depths are doing fantastically. 8987. And a burp. You know, completely classy. I'm keeping this commentary as rich and as professional as I possibly can, so I have to throw one or two of those in there every now and then, you know, just to keep things interesting. And this is my attempt at making a mobile game. I'm sorry if you heard that beep in the background. You know, thinking about it, I've always wanted a tablet, you know, just to carry around. My aunt actually has a tablet, which has a bunch of different games like Scrabble, Sudoku. What else did it have? The Game of Life. Oh, man. I loved that. Or was it the Game of Life? Was it the tablet? Maybe it was a laptop I was playing that on. Wow, I'm just completely derping and spacing out, but it's nice to have tablets that have things like Angry Birds, Sudoku, and all that, just to carry around and, you know, pass the time. I've always wanted one for myself, personally, but you know how it is with money, guys. Doesn't grow on trees. Well, technically it does, but you can't get money literally from the trees. If I could, I'd be freaking rich right now. So my whole thought process on City Simulator 2014 was kind of like SimCity 2013 on a mobile device, where you can use the touchpad to pick what road you want to use to lay out on the ground, what buildings you want to use. You can use your finger to drag along the area in order to place the buildings. Something like that. That was my vision in terms of this. Unfortunately, Game Dev Tycoon doesn't take into account your vision. It takes into account what it has right before it, which are the features and what you allocate into your development stages. You'll see the results of that pretty soon. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. So I'm just kind of shuffling through the various features to make sure that it's to my liking. You know, how much can you actually put into a city simulator game, right? Well, I think you can put quite a lot into it, but unfortunately, maybe my engine isn't as great as it could be at this stage. You know, I'm in pretty much the late game, quote unquote. So I don't know if it's up to par, if I'm behind or ahead or whatever. You know, I've actually avoided looking at other playthroughs of this game besides Gamer Bombs. You know, I watched a few of Jesse Cox's videos, and I tried to. I'm trying to resist watching the rest of them because I don't want to see the potential what you can have in the latter stage of the game, or any tricks to have like a perfect 10 out of 10 game, because God forbid, I'm pretty sure he's owning it right now. And yes, I am a Jesse fan. To a degree, I'm sub to him. I have a lot of YouTubers that I'm fans of, actually. Some more than others, you know. We all have our own preferences. Personally, my top... Yeah, as you can see, the game didn't really sell too well. Or review too well. But yeah, my personal favorite YouTuber, when I think about it, is Markiplier. I mean, that man is as genuine as you can find on the interwebs. He is just fantastic. He's funny. He's relatable. You know, he is everything as a person that I would aspire to be, much less a YouTuber. So, I'm a huge fan of him. Horror games, yeah, I don't know. I have this weird feeling in my head that you guys want me to play a lot more horror games. And, of course, you want me to continue Outlast. I definitely plan on doing that once I get the X-Tury, because I know that will lag my game less and lessen the risk of me running into a monster, which I haven't done yet, but it's inevitable. I've heard too much stuff about this game to go into it unprepared. I'm just a scaredy cat on the inside. But at the same time, I'm kind of a horror junkie when it comes to watching them. And I know my reactions can be pretty funny, so... Now, I'm doing it for you guys. I'm going to continue doing it for you guys. Power to the Muffinites. So as you can see here, I'm making... I was making a new game engine called Final Hope. And I'm hoping that Final Hope is going to bring me the hope I need in order to create a kick-ass title. Which, this game could be hit or miss, really. My whole vision of Total Recall is that it's going to be kind of like... what is the way I want to put it? If Mass Effect and Back to the Future had a child, it would be Total Recall. Something that has a lot of morality choices, a lot of traveling back and forth through time. You know, when I think about it, it also reminds me of another game. What is it? I almost want to think about Radiant Historia, and that's kind of where I'm getting this hidden inspiration for Total Recall, making this game. I haven't played much of Radiant Historia. I played about, like, what, 5-6 hours, I think, and I'm not even close to finishing the game. Never picked it up again. I'm kind of surprised. It's a really, really solid game. And yes, more news about this game device that I have no interest in. You know, I've been sticking a lot to the Inbox 360, haven't I? Oh lordy. Oh lordy indeed. So I decided to take a huge risk with Total Recall. Like, I'm pouring in millions of dollars in order to try and make this game as best as I possibly can. Because my mindset is that if I create a kick-ass game and just throw out all the stops, you know, put all the different features that I can into the game while it still makes sense in my head, I'd get perfect 10s, I'd make a lot of money, and I'd basically be set for the entire game. Right? Sometimes big risk garners big reward. That's not exactly how the saying goes, but pretty much. I mean, it's close. It's close. For somebody who doesn't utilize the English language that well, I'm sure you guys can give me a pass. I mean, certainly the game is getting a lot of design points, so it has to be good, right? I mean, there's no way this could let me down. Total Recall, so many features, so much potential. You know, I can't possibly see how this game could make a dive for me, make me lose my money. It's the only way is up, as far as I'm concerned, right? We shall soon see. Seashells by the seashore. Hopefully you guys can forgive me, by the way. I know this kind of is a borderline vlog, but kind of wanted to vent my feelings about a bunch of subjects and give you clear the air, basically. I think I've been pretty informative, and you guys understand where I'm coming from, though. Yeah, unfortunately, the game is not panning out in our favor, so unfortunately Total Recall is a total bust. So I just lost a shit ton of money. That's just how the cookie crumbles, right? So, hopefully you guys found this video informative. If you did enjoy the video, I'd encourage you to leave a like. It benefits and helps the growth of the channel. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm incredibly sorry that the video is post-commentary. I've always been about 100% live, but what can you do sometimes, right? So with that being said, I'm Rye. Happy gaming, everybody. Have a good day.